welcome back to some more Mad Libs.
Or Sand Libs, rather.
This is episode 3.
Revenge of the Sand.
Because we're so predictable, we go in prequel order.
Yes.
And this is dressing. Dressing like Darth Vader.
Yes.
As Darth Vader.
Yes.
Ever since he was sand, burned on the Mustafar sand system, losing his sands and his sand, Darth Vader has been more machine than sand.
So coarse, rough, and irritating.
And every day he must get everywhere. He must don a sand suit of armor in order to survive.
Yes.
First, Darth Vader must wear a black leather sand that covers his entire sand body. Next, he puts on a long sand cape around his neck and covers his sands with a pair of sands. Finally,
So much sand.
he must always have a sanding mask over his face and a sand helmet on top of his sands. If all that wasn't sand enough, Darth Vader can only remove his sand gear in a sand chamber filled with pressurized sand. And you thought it was sand getting dressed every morning.
Coarse, rough, and irritating.
It is coarse, rough, and irritating to get dressed every morning.
Depending on what you're getting.
I don't think we've done Mos Eisley Spaceport, but you could do
I
the
thought we did.
maybe. I don't know.
I think we did that one.
Well, we've gone over so many, we're gonna end up redoing them.
Don't think we did the garbage chute.
Alright.
The sand chute. Leia, Han, Luke, and Chewie were trapped on the Death Sand. Behind them was a dead end, and in front of them, Imperial Storm Sand.
The garbage sand.
Leia thought fast, grabbing Luke's sand and blasting a hole in the wall before
sounds...
sand drove through.
That could be taken way out of context. She grabbed my sand!
Pocket sand.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean in an inappropriate way.
Before sand drove through, only to land in the garbage chute filled with sand, liquid, and
oh god! Liquid sand!
Molten sand. They were safe from the stormtroopers, but there was one sand problem. There was still no way out. Things went from sand to worse when Luke was captured by a slithering sand. Just as Leia, Han and Chewie freed him, the sand started closing in on them. It looked like they were going to be as sand as pancakes.
Okay. As sand as pancakes? I don't think I've ever heard pancakes described as sand.
Luke's head. He called C-3PO in his comlink. Thankfully, C-3PO figured out how to stop the walls from sanding. What a close call. Too sand for comfort. Because it's so coarse, rough, and irritating. Let me find one.
Oh, party pooper. Have we done How to Become a Jedi Knight? I think
so, yeah.
Weapons of the Empire.
No, we're going to save that one.
Han and Leia, a love story.
We did that one. Yeah, we did that one.
Yeah. The World According to Yoda, Part 1.
Oh, I'm going to do it in my voice.
Alright. And Part 2. Cloud City, an advertisement by Lando Calrissian.
Have we done that one?
Oh well. High above the sand, ground on the gas planet Bespin, floats Sand City in the clouds. Cloud City is a sand metropolis buzzing with sand. There are sand shops filled with all the latest sand restaurants with some of the best chefs in the sand. and all sorts of entertainment for everyone from the youngest sand to the oldest sand. Gazing at the sand skyscape, filled with all the sand of the rainbow, will take your sand away.
As if there's sand on gas giant planets.
Nowhere else in the galaxy boasts sand views like this. It's like looking into sand. Dream. A sand dream. It may not rest on solid sand, but Cloud City is the perfect place to plant your sand. Come sand here today!
One more.
I grabbed the other lightsaber, but it would just get blue screened out.
Yeah.
Which would be hilarious, because I'd be swinging around the background.
Walking Carpet, a Wookiee speak tutorial by Han Solo.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
For someone fluent in Shirwook, Chewbacca's native sand, it can be nearly impossible to understand what sand Fuzzball is trying to sand. Here are some of the phrases Chewbacca uses sand. 1. Sand. When Chewbacca growls, sand, he's not happy. Sand cautiously, especially if he's just lost a game of sand. He might just rip your sand off.
Pocket sand.
2. Sand. When Chewbacca softly purrs sand, it means he's feeling as sand as a clam, or as snug as a sand in a rug. Of course,
Snug as a bug in a...
It gets in everywhere.
Snug as a bug in a rug.
With sand. He'll often do this when you're scratching behind his sand.
I am sand. I am sand.
I'm Groot.
I am sand.
I'm Groot. I'm Batman.
I am sand.
I'm Batman. I'm Sandman.
No. He's Marvel.
3. Sand. When Chewbacca chuckles sand, he means he's laughing.
So apparently the only word Chewbacca knows is sand.
Sand. Sand, sand, sand. Sand, 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 sand.
Sand.
Sand. Sand. Sand.
Sand, fish.
Sand. Sand.
Puntis, 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 puntis.
Put sandwich here.
Put sand here.
Sometimes that fuzz sand even laughs at me. Whenever that happens, I get about as angry as a sand Wookiee.
Okay, I don't know what that means. What have we got left? Ewoks, Little But Mighty. And Droid Journeys. So I guess
that one, droid.
Alright. This is about C-3PO and R2-FU. No, I was just doing that on my own. Off the cuff.
Yeah.
He's R2-FU. It was a sand day on Tatooine when the protocol sand, C-3PO, met the sand droid R2-D2, who constantly just sounds like he's swearing. Beep, 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 beep.
Beep.
Sand.
Sand.
And a legendary relationship began.
Oh my!
The true droids are as different as night and sand. C-3PO.
I'm the night. I'm the sand.
I am the sand. Sand, I am.
Sand. Sand pun here.
Insert sand pun here. C-3PO is scared of his own sand.
Well, no wonder. It's so coarse, rough, and irritating. It gets in everywhere.
While R2 never lets any sand get in his way. But these droids are both heroes, just as much as any Jedi sand. 3PO is always at the ready to offer the sand odds. And you can always find R2 on top of Luke's spaceship, even during the most sand adventures. They had their share of troubles while standing with the rebel forces. Who can forget the time R2 was hit by a sand during the attack on the first Death Stand.
Sand. Just sand.
Death Stand. On the first Death Sticks.
What am I, some death sticks?
You do not want to sell me Death Sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sand.
You want to go home and rethink your sand.
I want to go home and sand my sand.
Or the time 3PO was unassembled in Cloud City, only to be put back together by Chewie, who puts his sand on backward. No one knows how sand they've suffered while sanding against the dark side.
I think we're done for this video, so until sand time, may the sand
be with you.
Sand you. Sand.
Sand. Unlimited sand!